So what I'm going to talk to you about today might seem a little weird. I'm going to talk to you about push-ups. And in particular, I'm going to talk about what push-ups and creating art have in common and how understanding this can actually have a huge impact on you achieving your ultimate potential as an artist. If this is your first time joining the channel, I'm Tim Packer. I am a successful artist, and I've created this channel to help share everything that I've learned with other people who share that dream of one day becoming a successful artist and hopefully earning a decent living from their work. And so, as always, if you do enjoy the content that I put out, you can do me a big favor by giving me a thumbs up, by hitting the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified whenever I create a new video, click on the little bell and you'll get that notification. So what do push-ups have in common with art? Well, it turns out an awful lot. And so I'm going to talk to you, first of all, just about push-ups. If you really, really wanted to get good at doing push-ups, say your ultimate goal was to be able to do as many push-ups in a minute as you could, how would you go about doing that? Well, the one thing I can tell you is that if you just said, I'm going to do push-ups for 15 or 20 minutes a day, every day for the next year, at the end of that year, I guarantee you, you would be a lot better at doing push-ups, meaning you'd be able to do a lot more push-ups at the end of the year than you did at the beginning, and probably by a wide margin. Now, we can get into certain things like, well, what diet would you go on to maximize this? What exactly was the perfect type of push-up or the perfect movements to get the most benefit? Should you do, push-ups to failure every day and then just keep repeating for that 15 minutes? Or should you do 6 sets of 10 push-ups or 20 sets of 5 push-ups? All of these other variables in there about what would allow you to maximize your push-up potential. But at the end of the day, that's not important. What's really important is that you do the push-ups. You could do horrible push-ups in terms of your technique every day for the next year and achieve amazing results. Whereas someone who spent all their time worrying about, well, what type of push-up should I do? What type of sets and reps should I do? What diet should I go on? All of that kind of stuff, if that's the focus, there's a very good chance they won't have improved at all. Because at the end of the day, you have to do the push-ups, right? You cannot get better at doing push-ups by reading about push-ups, by talking about push-ups, by taking a workshop on push-ups, by reading a book about push-ups, by putting together a support group about push-ups. The only way you can get better is by doing the push-ups. And it's the same with art. The only way that you get better at doing art, whatever your art may be, is by doing the art. And that is much, much more important than, well, what kind of art should I do? And what medium should I create in? And what subject matter should I create in? All of these kinds of things, they become excuses to just not do art. But the one thing I can tell you is that if you spent an hour 3 or 4 times a week for the next year creating art, you would be better at the end of that year than you were at the beginning. And it wouldn't really matter how much you read about it, how much you talked about it, what videos you watched, any of that other stuff. If you didn't do the art consistently, you wouldn't have improved. So when it comes to art, you need to first of all do the push-ups. Now, can we increase kind of the speed with which we learn and get better by reading books, by taking workshops, by watching videos, by being part of an art group? It's like, yes, that put together with doing the push-ups can actually achieve an incredible amount of improvement in a relatively short time. But the point I want to get across is all of that other stuff will result in zero improvement if you don't do the push-ups. And by push-ups, let's talk about drawing, for instance, because I know that most of the artists that I see out there, skill in drawing is a weakness. Most of them have not mastered the skill of drawing. And drawing is one of the easiest ones to master because it is just like push-ups. You get better at drawing by drawing. Doesn't matter what you draw. It doesn't matter whether you use charcoal, pencil, ballpoint pen, Sharpie marker. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what subject you draw. Doesn't matter whether you take life drawing classes and you do blind contour sketches and gesture drawings and all of these kinds of things. They can help. But the most important thing is that you draw. And that's why when I was in college for graphic design, but we had to keep a sketchbook. And I'm pretty much any art college or university with their salt will also have this a requirement, which is you have to do like a half-hour drawing every day. And you need to have the book and it's got all the pages in it. And at the end of the year, you need to have a drawing for every day. Because I know just by drawing, you will get better at drawing. And there is no way to get better at drawing by reading about it, by watching a video about it, by talking about it, by forming a support group around it. You need to do the drawing. And so this concept actually applies to everything relating to art. So for example, if you want to get better at composition, then you need to make a point of every time you create a painting in the beginning, it's like you do a little value sketch where you think about it first in terms of composition, in terms of the way you arrange the shapes and the values in that painting. If you do that before every painting, I guarantee you by the end of that year, not only will your compositions be better, but your ability to think compositionally will get better because you need to make it a part of your regular practice. So for anything that you want to get better at, you need to do the push-ups. So by all means, be a voracious learner, because I'm certainly that. So read books, read magazines, watch videos, take workshops, talk with other artists, but just remember all of that stuff. It's only going to help you if you do the push-ups.